We want to talk to Didi Hamann, so we're going to get to him in just a second. Pep Guardiola, probably still a little bit hurt by what happened this time last year, via, like, I don't know, plus less a couple of days or something like that. He is keen to bat away any utterances of the word revenge.
We are not here for revenge, just for an opportunity. What happened in the past. So the past, they deserve it at the end because they want it. And always I believe in football, when you want it, it's because you deserve it. I'm going to say that we were not proper team to fight to reach the final next season. No, we were. We did everything, more than everything, to reach the final. But football is not enough. So hopefully we can learn and play better than last minutes, or score the goals, that the incredible chances, or maybe Courtois don't have the big night that they had in the both games, or or be better.
Okay, so Pep saying don't speak of the word revenge. However, Rodri didn't get the memo.
I think football gives you the option to go have revenge. Of course, I have the philosophy, and I think all my teammates have the philosophy that you can always learn about the past experiences. We did a great 2 games, but at the end football was like this. We didn't go through, but we are here again to fight again.
Hey, whatever motivates you. And I don't think this team are going to need much more motivation than potentially making their way through to the final of the Champions League. Can they get past Real Madrid? That is the question. Didi Hamann is joining us now, former Man City midfielder. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. How are you feeling about it, Didi?
Morning, Didi.
Morning, Didi.
Morning, guys. Yeah, good. Brilliant. The team that dominated the Champions League in the last few years against probably the best team in Europe at the moment. It'll be fascinating tonight.
What are you expecting, Didi, in terms of tactics? Andy and I and Laura, we've been talking about it all morning, and it's so intriguing. I actually think both right-back positions are going to be vital in the game. Whether it's Vinicius Junior, whether they play with Kyle Walker, or Carvajal on the other side, whether Grealish can get him. Where do you see the key areas in the game?
Oh, well, I think, as always, it'll be midfield, and Modric seems to be fit and ready to play. I think this is the engine room. This is where they're really been set apart by other teams. Real Madrid, because they dominated games with Camavinga and Kroos and Modric in the middle. So I think they've got to be wary of that. But I think what City sets apart from other teams at the moment, I think, is their defence. Because I watched them here in Munich. I couldn't have been more impressed. People said afterwards, Bayern Munich had him on the ropes. I always felt they had another gear or two in their game. And the way Diaz and Stones defended has been absolutely superb. So I think if they defend as well as it did in the game so far, they only conceded 4 goals in the 10 games they played in the Champions League. I think if they defend as well as they did so far, I think they'll go through to the final.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree, Didi, with you. I think what's fascinating, so many different matchups, so many interesting tussles that are going to be going on out there. Benzema has become the ultimate striker over the last couple of years. He really has. But now there is a new kid on the block in Erling Haaland. There is someone, and I think if City can find him and he's able to get at David Alaba, who is a great footballer with the ball at his feet, I'm not sure about him as a defender, Didi. I don't see him as someone that could possibly stop Haaland if they can find him in the right areas.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. He's been moved into that position 3 or 4 years ago in Bayern Munich, where Flick took over, and they ended up winning the Champions League in that tournament in Lisbon. But he was moved in because in Munich you've got 75%, so he's very good with the ball in his feet. He opens the game very well. But I think that Rudiger will probably have to do most of the defending because he's a warrior and he loves defending. So they have to be careful, Madrid, because if they've got to match up Haaland against Alaba, I'm with you. I think it could be hard because I don't think Alaba's got the pace, but I think Rudiger has.
The two managers I'm fascinated with, 2 of the game's greats, Carlo against Pep. What do you think it comes down to? Because we talk about all the players on the pitch and things like that, but how much of this is going to come down to the decisions that Carlo and Pep make, the teams that they put out?
Well, I think a lot, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the players on the pitch. And I think what City held back in the past, that Guardiola fielded some strange formations in the latter stages of this competition. And, he left Rodri out a couple of years ago when they played Chelsea in the final. This year, he pretty much plays the same 11 every time he's got them available. And I think that's the main thing. And I think when it comes to these games, and we saw it last year, you mentioned it that City got knocked out by Madrid where they probably shouldn't have done. When it comes to these crunch times, you need players who make decisions. And at times I felt that Guardiola wants to play, the game for his players, but it's simply not possible. You need players who make decisions on the pitch. And on the other hand, I think there was a game last year where Ancelotti asked Toni Kroos, who was subbed off, what to do. He's asking the players, what do you think we should do? And end of the day, I think the 11 pretty much picked themselves for both teams. Now it's down to the players, when it comes to these important situations, to make decisions. And I think this is where City sometimes fell short in the past.
What do you think in terms of the game itself, looking at Real Madrid, Didi? I mean, I mentioned to the guys, I honestly think last year's trophy that they won, the Champions League, might have been their best ever. I look at them domestically, they've got kind of an average season, I think 13 or whatever it is points behind. They're sitting third in the league behind Atletico Madrid. But are they saving their best performances for this tournament, which they believe is their tournament?
Yeah, it seems this way, but I think they've probably got a better team this year than they had last season. And last season, they were all but out in all the rounds. Last 16 quarterfinal, semi-final, they came from behind. Chelsea had them on the ropes. They found a way to come back. And we all felt when they played Liverpool, they used their luck. But they found a way again to beat them. So you can never write them off. I think they're better this season than they were last season, even though the performances in the league don't rule that. But, in Kroos and Modric, they've got players, they won it numerous times now. They probably know these players. They won't have too many more chances. So I'm not saying it's the last time or last chance for Toni Kroos or Modric to win the Champions League, but they know how important it is, that competition, because, the club Real Madrid, they want to win the Champions League. And, the league is not enough for them. They won it more than 10 times more than any other club. And, this is the competition that defines the football. And I think the players know that as well.
Didi, would you take many out of the Madrid team, put them in City's team? Are there many that you would select? I mentioned this to Ali and Laura earlier, and I can't think of many. I really can't. Are there many that you would?
Well, I think the other way around, you probably take more. I think you take more City players, putting it to Madrid teams. Yeah. Vinny Jr. is obviously a player. Modric always plays a role, but obviously he's 37 or 38 now. If you go head to head, you probably have to say that City got the better players. And as I said, City reminds me of Liverpool 2-3 seasons ago when they dominated Europe. Diaz is probably as influential as Van Dijk used to be for Liverpool, and Stones, what a player he's turned out to be. He's very flexible. And what I like about them is their physicality, because there was always a doubt about their defending, whether they really want to defend when they have to. But the way they played in the Champions League so far, and as I said, I watched them here in Munich. I couldn't have been more impressed with them. Even though the result was close, but I felt they always had 1 or 2 gears. And the best thing that could happen for Bayern Munich probably in the game was to score the first goal, because I think if they turned the screw City, they would have run away with it.
Okay, Didi, enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks,
enjoy
Didi.
the game, mate.
Well done.
All the best.
Thank you.
See
Bye
you later.
bye.
Didi Hamann on the Breakfast Show.
Just talking about it, Laura. Just talking about the game tonight and the magnitude of it, Ali, is so exciting, isn't it? It really is. It's going to be an incredible couple of matches this time round. I really think City are ready to do it against this team. Someone's got to beat them. Someone's got to turn up and beat them in a knockout game, and they have to. Yeah, and I think there's no better team than City right now.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.